On June 23, 1988, Dr. James Hansen, a director of NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies and former space scientist, gave his testimony before a panel of U.S. senators that he was 99% certain that that year's record temperatures were not the result of natural variation. Prior to that day, scientists were hesitant to attribute rising global temperatures to anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions. Of course, they had their dissenters at the time, and they still exist today, as we saw in previous videos. But the scientists were confident that their findings would be supported by future data. They asserted that the Midwestern and Southeastern portions of the United States would experience frequent episodes of very high temperatures and severe droughts, and they postulated that this would occur over the next few decades. While they did not have enough data to assert that any particular heat wave could be attributed to global warming, they reassured the U.S. senators that with more data, they would be able to do so. It was therefore recommended by the scientists that the senators consider what government action could be taken to limit emissions. In November of that year, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, was created to analyze the science behind international treaties on limiting carbon emissions, as well as provide insights with how best to deal with events and disasters resulting from a rapidly changing climate. This eventually led to the Kyoto Protocol on December 11, 1997. It was the first treaty for greenhouse gas emissions reductions, but it was never ratified by the United States, and it failed to meet many of its objectives. Several agreements on emissions have been discussed over the years as we continue to update our knowledge on global warming. In December 2015, 195 countries gathered to create the first legally binding treaty on greenhouse gas emissions. This Paris conference proposed ways to limit global warming to no more than 2 degrees Celsius above normal, often considered the tipping point of whether or not we will be experiencing a few centuries of changes or a few decades. Of course, they also created a more ambitious goal of 1.5 degrees Celsius just to be safe. It urged all participants to take rapid action using whatever science dictated. However, on June 29th of this year, an article was published in Nature that analyzed the goals and where we are regarding the Paris Conference, and it found that if we do not pursue heartier action, then we are likely to miss the more ambitious goal of 1.5 degrees Celsius. As it stands now, we are likely to hit that 1.5 degree Celsius threshold in 2017, if not this year. We are only halfway through 2016 and it's already broke a lot of records, so it very well could be this year, and we've already missed the goal, at least the ambitious one. So it should make one wonder if we will even meet the 2 degrees Celsius goal, or really any goal. I would like to leave you with this thought. The United States, per capita, or per person, emits more greenhouse gases than any other country. There are countries with higher total emissions, but if we had 1.357 billion people, then we would have a much higher emissions rate than any country. So, we, as citizens of the United States, if you are watching from there, need to start considering what exactly we can do to reduce our own individual emissions, because it seems like there's a large portion of us that just aren't interested in evidence and science. So, since they're holding us back, we have to take direct action and take matters into our own hands. And there are things we can do. We just have to be willing to do them. And I can't say I'm the best with my own emissions, but I have tried. And that's a lot more than those other individuals can say. So consider doing it yourself if you can, if you're able. If you're not, encourage others. That's my only advice. Because otherwise, we're not going to have much of a choice in what direction we even go in. So, I hope that you stay safe and know that you are incredible. And until next time, bye.